Hello everybody, let me show you my technique for doing a layered effect on your strap and handles of your ultimate travel bag or any project that has handles and straps. The things that you will need, I've already prepared a strap, a 2-inch piece of fabric, a 1-inch bias binder maker, a stiletto, and a glue stick, water-soluble temporary stick. First thing I want to do is to take my strip, put this aside, and I'm going to try to insert it in here. Now, of course, it's going to be kind of hard to just start it like that. So what I've come up with is if you curve the ends like this, it will glide in a little easier. And with the help of a stiletto, you can really push it along. So once you see there's a little window, and see how that works. And at first, you can see how it kind of bunches up, but I will start kind of pushing it through, and there's an opening on this end, and I will wiggle it. Now I will flip it over. Let me move this to the side. And then I will adjust it, because you want to feed it in evenly so that it won't come out wonky. Okay, so to start this, I kind of put these two ends, raw ends, side by side. I get my iron and I press that to make it stay put. Now you can add steam if you like, but I do kind of a low steam on this. And how I do this is I slowly guide it, the fabric and the iron all at one time. Okay, so as you can see, it starts to make a little bias binding. And I will go. Now I don't try to go too fast, because you want it to be consistent as far as the fold goes. So you don't want it to and then I just let the iron just sit. I don't do this because then you're going to have where parts of it is open and parts of it's closed. And see, voila. For the strap by Annie, this is a 1.5-inch strap, a webbing. As you can see, I have created this strap already, and I put the seam on the top because when I use this piece that I just created with the bias binder, I want to lay it on top, and then it will conceal the seam. All right, and then you won't have any seam showing. Now, if you see this transparency in the middle where it looks like a faint shadow, it's because your bias binder didn't meet up in the middle, and that can be remedied. So here I have my glue stick. Okay, all right, this is by Soline, very convenient, and it's refillable, and you just twist as you go when you use it up. Now what I end up doing is, to get it to meet in the middle, is I go ahead and go along here. Now you can draw a line so that it'll be your guideline, but I'm going to eyeball it just a little bit over. And it doesn't matter if you do a line, because what you're going to do is get the other side and meet it in the middle. You see? Because you already have this crease that you created with your iron. Now, if you have a dark material or thick material that you can't see through, then you won't even have to worry about doing this process. Okay? But since this one is a little bit on the light side, now another option is to use an interfacing, like a shape flex, something that will maybe, you know, give you a little bit of a hiding so that you won't see that. All right, now the glue stick is blue, but as it dries, it will be clear. All right, and I like the flexibility of a temporary glue because it won't be stiff. And all right, and I usually do the front and back just to give it the nice crisp sharpness. All right, okay, so now you don't see the invisible, you don't see that shadow of a line in the middle. And then I will go and place it on here. Now, there's a glue, the glue still has not dried, okay? But what I want to do, how I place this onto the strip, is I also run just a little bit of glue on both sides here. That just keeps it in place. Now you can eyeball this, or you can just draw you some guidelines, but I'm just gonna, for practical reasons here, I'm just gonna lay it, and I can kind of gauge, okay? And don't worry about it being so precise, because just think that this is, like I said, a handle or strap, and it's gonna be, you know, curved like this, so you don't have to be that precise with it. And look, okay, now I give it a little, on this part I don't use steam, because with temporary glue, if you use steam, it won't stick. So I just use a hot iron, and I just press. This is ironing, and this is press, okay? Pressing is just going up and down. All right, don't leave it too long, because your webbing is nylon, and I have discovered when I used to just leave it on there for longer than needed, it starts to buckle, and just do that. Now, don't worry if parts of it has come up. You can always go back and just glue this side down. I think I waited too long to glue, and sometimes it dries faster, and then I just finger press. Another option to use is our little roller, and that will make sure you, the basic reason I use glue is to keep it intact. Now you can do clips all along here, but I just glue it. And now you can just stitch alongside here on either side of this to tack it down, okay? Okay, so I just finished stitching both edges, as you can see here, the left and the right, and down the middle. You can use a contrasting thread like I did, or you can use a thread that matches your layer, your overlay for your strap. So this one is ready. Say, for example, this is the strap, carry-on strap holder. So I get my hardware, I slide it in, and voila. It gives it a nice and pretty effect in case you're wanting to add more detail, or if, you know, you just needed that extra piece in order to coordinate your bag or your project. I hope you enjoyed this technique that I created, and I'm sure there's other ways of doing it, but for me, I found this was the easiest way. Thank you for watching.